Hello guys, in today's video, we are going to recap Star Wars, Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Warning, spoilers ahead. The movie starts with a scene in the surface of the desert planet Jakku. Poe Dameron acquires a fragment of a map that reveals Skywalkers from Lor San Tekka in a hut. Alarm breaking the silence of the meeting, stormtrooper arrive and start storming the village. Poe try to escape but fail due to his X-wing engine been shot by stormtrooper. The First Order led by the evil Kylo Ren execute Lor San Tekka using fiery lightsaber. In anger, Poe then fires at Kylo Ren, who uses the Force to block a blaster bolt. Before leaving the village, Kylo Ren ordered to kill remaining survivor. During the massacre of the survivor, one stormtrooper refused to fire. He is FN 2187 or later known as Finn. On the First Order destroyer, Kylo Ren interrogate Poe and managed to reveal whereabouts of the map is still on Jakku in his BB-8 unit. After been questioning for his behavior on Jakku by Captain Phasma, Finn decides to run away. In order to escape, he rescues Poe. Poe renames FN 2187 as Finn, and expertly pilots to an escape while Finn fires the ship's blasters. The fighter is hit by lasers from the destroyer and crash lands on Jakku. Finn has ejected but it appears Poe has gone down with the ship leaving only his jacket. BB-8 rolls away across the sands. Runs into Rey, a young scavenger who is barely surviving on Jakku. Rey scavenges parts from old wrecks of Star Destroyers on the sands of Jakku and exchanges them for food at Unkar Plutt scrap yard. During the trade the scrap yard master offered to buy BB-8, but Rey refused to pawn his new friend. Finn wanders across the desert. Eventually, he arrives in Naima Outpost, the town where Rey trades scrap for food. While Finn is looking for water in the town, he sees Rey being accosted by two of Unkar Plutt's henchmen who are trying to make off with BB-8. He begins to rush to her aid, but before he gets far, Rey handily fights off her attackers using her staff. Clearly, she can handle herself. BB-8 spots Finn looking their way and tells Rey that he is wearing Poe's jacket, which they assume is stolen. Rey chases Finn down, knocks him to the ground, and confronts Finn about the jacket. BB-8 start electric shock Finn before Finn tells them that Poe was captured by the First Order and that he helped him escape, but Poe was unfortunately killed. BB-8 is saddened and rolls off. Rey questions if Finn is with the Resistance. Finn lies, telling her he is indeed with the Resistance. Rey is excited after assumes Finn is a Resistance fighter. Finn tells her BB-8 is carrying a map to Luke Skywalker and Rey is even more impressed, declaring that she thought Skywalker was a myth. BB-8 returns and alerts Finn and Rey that they are in trouble. Stormtroopers chase Finn, Rey and BB-8 through Naima Outpost. They manage to hide in a tent before realizing TIE fighters are called in and begin to bomb and strafe the town. Finn and Rey start make their escape, heading to the quad jumper right before it's been fired down by TIE fighter. After that they turn around and head to a garbage vehicle. It is the Millennium Falcon. Finn take position in the turret, while Rey try to fly the Falcon. A rough takeoff scene is showing a substantial portion of the town been destroyed. Finally, Rey manage to fly the Falcon. TIE fighters still on their tail chasing and keep shooting them. Finn is able to shoot down a pursuing TIE fighter. But the guns are hit and jammed in a position, prevent Finn to take another shoot to the remaining TIE fighter. Rey takes the Falcon into one of the Star Destroyer's wrecked ships that she occasionally scraping through. Right before the enemy combatant locks onto their ship, she turns the Falcon out into the open. Rey performs a flip which allows Finn to fire successfully at the remaining fighter, taking it down. After their escape to the space, heads away from Jakku. Both Rey and Finn have to perform emergency maintenance. Finn admits to BB-8 he is not part of the Resistance. Next scenes show Falcon been captured by the First Order. As the Falcon is boarded, Finn and Rey hide in a secret compartment, but the boarding party is actually Han Solo and Chewbacca. A cut scene shows up. General of the First Order and Kylo have a meeting with Supreme Leader. The General suggests using their latest weapon to destroy the Resistance. After dismissing the General, Kylo Ren been informed that Han Solo is returned. And there is awakening in the Force. Kylo lock himself in a room talking in dark, and reveal he is the grandson of Darth Vader. On Starkiller Base, the General gather an army and begin his speech about destroying the Republic. He angrily declares the death of the Republic. In the base command, a machine start, then fire red beam into the space. A massive red beam travel in space. We see crowds of people on populated planets look up into the sky to witness the conflagration as their planet is destroyed. In an instance the beam destroys 4 planets. Rey later reveal where they find the Falcon to Han. Han is impressed by Rey able to fly the Falcon. Han decide to drop Finn and Rey on their journey to the next planet. Han Solo change its mind after Finn reveal at BB-8 got the map that can pin the location of Luke Skywalker's. During their conversation they got company. 2 more smuggler parties, the Death Gang. Han reveal that he tries smuggles 3 Rathtar. Han tries to talk his way out of his debts with the one of the smuggling groups. While Finn and Rey hide underneath the platform. The next smuggling groups that known as Kanji Club join the conversation. Both of the party recognize BB-8, they later reveal at First Order wanted along with Finn and Rey. Rey tries to close blast doors to save Han, but instead opens the doors to the Rathtar containers. The Rathtars attack and eat the smugglers, while the rest scatter. During his escape, Finn got captured by Rathtars. Rey that spotted it on some control monitor room saves him by closing a door on the creature's tentacles. Chewbacca and Han able to take down the other smuggle party. Finn and Rey later join them in an attempt to escape from the rest of the smuggle gang and Rathtars. They able to fire up the Falcon and escape to deep space and leave their attackers behind. One of the smuggle leader inform Last Order that BB-8 is on board of Millennium Falcon. BB-8 later show the fragment of map to all of them. Han Solo reveal the story behind Luke's disappearance. Luke is trying to find the first Jedi temple. They travel to a green planet. Landed in a castle-shaped building near the lake. Solo hand Rey a blaster gun. Han offer her to join his crew, but she hesitates. On their way to the castle Han reveal his plan to bring BB-8 to the Resistance. Next scene reveal that Han seek help from Maz Kanata, an orange-skinned alien. Inside the castle is a club where various alien sentient gather and have fun. One of the aliens inform the First Order the droid location, and the other corner a robot-shaped entity inform the Resistance the same matter. Maz reveal at the dark side has taken many forms. In this present it's a First Order. She approaches Finn, while Finn keep warning them about how dangerous First Order. Finn want to disappear, while Rey and Han want to bring BB-8 to the Resistance. Rey try to talk Finn to rejoin their party. In shocking truth, Finn reveal that he is a stormtrooper. Finn decides to run by joining a crew heading for the Outer Rim. Rey is drawn to the lower floor of the cantina by the sound of a girl crying and opens a box. Later it reveals at the contain of the box a lightsaber. When she tries to pick it up, a flashback scene shows Rey's childhood and Skywalker betrayed by Kylo Ren. The last vision shows Ren pursuing her in a snowy forest. Maz show up and reveal that the lightsaber belonged to Luke. And the lightsaber is call her as the next wielder. Maz also convince her that whoever she waits in Jakku will not come back. Frightening by the vision, Rey run out to the forest without fulfill Maz's suggestion. Maz later hand the lightsaber to Finn, right in the middle of First Order attack. Rey tries to use the blaster given to her by Han Solo, but inexperienced and frightened she fumbles with the safety, giving away her position to one of the stormtroopers that start shooting at her. She able to knock a few troopers before runs deeper into the forest with BB-8. Pinned down in the middle of the fire fight, Han borrow Chewbacca gun and state he like it. After destroying 4 planet, the First Order begin landing troops in Finn current location. Finn that later asked Maz for a weapon, she replied you already got one. As the stormtroopers attack Finn, he uses the lightsaber to fight back. One of the stormtrooper known as TR-8R fight Finn with an electrified tonfa and manage to knock him down. Han and Chewbacca join Finn, but then overwhelmed by the enemies. Kylo Ren tracks down Rey in the woods. He chases her through the forest, easily fending off her desperate attempts to fire on him with the blaster. She backs away, but he stops her, using the Force to hold her still. Ren uses the Force to read her mind and discovers that she has seen the map to Luke Skywalker's location. He decides he no longer needs BB-8, so he knocks her out and carries her off in his ship, as Finn watches. Later scenes show Resistance fighter come to the rescue. The Resistance X-Wing fighters arrive, led by Poe Dameron, finishing off the last troops while Rain forces escape the planet. A troop ship lands, carrying General Leia Organa and C-3PO. Han and Leia are reunited, but their relations are tense. It is revealed that Kylo Ren is actually their son. The heroes return to the Resistance base, where Finn is reunited with Poe Dameron, who was not killed by the crash on Jakku. BB-8 is reunited with R2-D2 and C-3PO, but R2-D2 has been shut down since Luke left many years before. The Resistance fighters begin to plan an attack on the Starkiller base to avoid being wiped out. Finn wants to rescue Rey, and claims he once worked at Starkiller base and knows how to knock out the shields. C-3PO later revealed to Leia that the maps of Luke location are just partial. Next scene show up final preparation by a Resistance. Han and Leia say their goodbyes. As they part, Leia asks Han to bring their son home if he sees him. On Starkiller base, Rey wakes to find herself locked in an interrogation chair like the one we have seen earlier in Poe's interrogation scene. Kylo Ren and she converse, and he removes his mask, revealing his face to her. Ren uses the Force to read Rey's mind. He senses her lonely life on Jakku, her dreams of a faraway island and the closeness she feels towards Han Solo. She reacts with hostility but seems unable to keep him from reading her thoughts. When he tries to extract the information about the map from her mind, however, he runs up against an unexpected barrier. Rey is not only able to resist his further probing, but pushes back into Ren's mind, and tells him that he is afraid that he will never be as strong as Darth Vader. Ren is shaken by this and by her obvious strength with the Force, and he runs away to meet with Snoke in search of guidance on how to proceed. Kylo Ren finds that Rey has escaped and is very angry. He searches the base for Rey. Kylo Ren and General Hux are scolded for not retrieving the droid, and Ren's inability to crack Rey's mind, by the Supreme Leader. Rey now understands that she has some Force talent and uses the mind trick power to escape from the stormtrooper guarding her cell. She sneaks through the Starkiller base to the hangar to escape. Meanwhile, Han and Chewie come out of hyperspace and almost hit a cliff. They cannot go on higher altitude because it will alert enemies' radar. When they approach the base, Finn reveals he does not know how to disable the shields. In desperate attempt, they storm in and capture Captain Phasma. They force her to lower the shields. Kylo later detect Solo arrival. Back at the Resistance base, Leia give authorization for all the fighter to attack the First Order base. All the Resistance squad closing to the First Order planet, they start to light the base up. A few moments later First Order retaliate, sending their fighter to the sky. Finn, Han and Chewbacca head off to find Rey. While discussing their plan, Han realizes that Rey has freed herself. They spot her scaling a wall of the base. They rush to meet her. She is surprised that they would come back for her, and embraces Finn, and she learns from Chewbacca that it was Finn's idea that they come to the base to save her. Poe and the X-Wing fighters are under heavy fire and outnumber. Han and Chewbacca improvise a plan to plant explosives to blow it up instead. They split up to lay explosives in separate locations. Chewbacca goes high, and Han goes to lower part. A few moments later, Kylo Ren show up. He stalks off onto a catwalk where Han spots him. Han approaches him on the catwalk, calling him Ben. He asks his son to return with him, and Ren offers his lightsaber, but then activates it and kills his father, pushing him off into the pit. Rey, Finn, and Chewbacca, having watched the entire conversation horrified. Chewbacca fires on Ren, hitting him in the side. Rey and Finn start shooting to the remaining stormtrooper, helping Chewbacca storming the enemy's forces. Finn and Rey manage to escape after they detonates the explosives. Kylo Ren confronts Finn and Rey in the snowy forest. Ren is bleeding from his wound, but ignites his red fiery saber to fight. Rey raises her blaster to fire on Ren, but he throws her against a tree with a force push and she lies unconscious in the snow. Finn rushes to her aid and then uses the blue lightsaber to fight Ren. Finn quickly finds himself outmatched. He manages to touch Ren with the saber, but this only enrages him. Rey is revived by the sound of Finn's screams as he is burned by Ren's saber. Ren easily disarms Finn, tossing the saber off into the snow. He then uses the Force to pull the lightsaber to himself. It hurtles towards him but then flies past. Ren turns to discover the saber in Rey's hands. They begin to fight. Rey initially fights unsuccessfully and desperately, and begins to run from Ren. He pursues her and pins her against the edge of a cliff. Ren offers to teach her the Force, but this only ends up reminding her to tap into its power. She closes her eyes for a moment of meditation and then attacks Ren with a new vigor and power. She rapidly gains the upper hand, extinguishes Ren's saber and cuts him on the arm and across the face. Meanwhile, Poe Dameron and the X-Wing pilots fly into the Star Killer base trench, destroying the rest of the base. The planet begins to collapse and explode. A chasm opens between Ren and Rey as the planet continues to fall apart. Chewbacca arrives in the Millennium Falcon to pick up both Finn and Rey. The Falcon and X-Wings escape as the Starkiller base explodes. Back at the Resistance base, Leia and Rey embrace in sadness, standing apart from the celebration of the rest of the Resistance base. Back at the Resistance base, R2-D2 awakens and reveals the missing part of the map to Luke's location. Finn is still unconscious, and Rey tells him goodbye while he rests. Rey and Chewbacca leave in the Falcon, Rey taking the pilot's seat. They fly to the planet indicated by the map, where Rey carefully climbs a rocky island. When she reaches the top, she finds an old cloaked and bearded Jedi with a metal hand. It is Luke Skywalker. Rey wordlessly offers him the lightsaber. That's all guys for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and don't want to miss the next movie recap.